Think back to 2016. What were you doing? Who were you? What's your credit card information? Back in 2016, I was a young lad, around the spry age of 17. The good old days. Seriously, like, what has happened since then? My God. Anyway, this was around the time of Battlefront 1, the DICE EA remake. And everyone was having loads of fun on Walker Assault using the jump pack pulse cannon combo. Much like this. 2 DLCs had already come out for the game, with the third about to release that'd give fans a cinematic experience like no other. Released on the Season Pass on September the 20th, and in online stores around October 4th, the Death Star DLC became one of the most hyped expansions ever in terms of Star Wars. The amount of nostalgia that I have for this time period and this DLC is unbelievable. I think to people who never experienced this, it's like Star Wars gaming's Vietnam. You don't know, man! You weren't there! Let me show you what I mean. The Death Star DLC was the third paid expansion to EA's Battlefront 2015. And is often regarded as one of the game's most ambitious pieces of content. Rather than simply introducing new maps, it aimed to recreate and expand on one of the most iconic battles in Star Wars history by combining infantry combat and space combat into a single cinematic multiplayer experience. As well as this, the DLC included 5 new maps: Command Sector, Defense Sector, Power Sector, all those being internal Death Star locations, recreating famous hallways, hangars, and detention blocks from A New Hope. And then also Imperial Blockade with Death Star Surface, both full-scale space battle maps. Very nice. It also introduced 2 new heroes, Chewbacca, which to me is absolutely mental that he was added in a DLC and not in the game from day one, but there you go, and Bosk, the horrible lizard fuck. The new weapons were the TL-50 repeater and the K-16 pistol, with the new star cards also being the medical droid and the laser trip mine. But apart from all that, the DLC offered us something a little bit different: the mode Battle Station. This was the defining feature, the unique selling point, and one hell of a good time. Of course, this game is now virtually completely dead, so I've had to pull some footage from YouTube to show you what it was like your granddad showing you pictures from the war. This is where I shot down 3 TIE fighters and married your grandma. The Battle Station mode consisted of 3 stages. Stage 1, the diversion. The rebels must engage the Imperial fleet protecting the Death Star long enough for the transports to get straight through. I remember a game on this stage as an X-Wing, racking up so many kills because all it is really is just shooting down TIEs and assaulting the Star Destroyer. I honestly have a lot of good memories on here. I always thought that it was better playing as the rebels, to be honest, in this game mode, as it really showed the sheer desperation of the rebels trying to scrape through each section. It was so immersive and unbelievably fun. One of the key reasons for this was if the Empire beat you at any stage, it was game over, the match ended. If you managed to get through the first stage, it was on to stage 2, the rescue. The battle shifts from space combat to ground combat as we enter the Death Star to rescue quote-unquote rebel forces. The rebels actually needed to rescue R2-D2. Now this stage was just pure carnage. Imperials round every corner, bottlenecks, choke points, endless corridors. The funniest part is the fact that whoever reaches R2-D2 first gets to actually take control of him and try and make it as far as you can before you're overloaded and somebody else needs to take over. Look at how slow this Tin Pot brother is. It's so stressful. Come on lad, get there. Honestly, it's just a blast. Tricky, but an absolute blast. R2 comes with his own abilities as well, so he's not completely useless. A scanner, a stun wave, and a fart cloud. Now, if somehow you can make it all the way across the Death Star with R2 and extract the little bugger, you move on to stage 3, the trench run. And oh boy, do I remember playing this for the first time. Seeing the incredible vista of the surface of the Death Star, the scale of it all, the trenches, wow. How can you not be excited to play this? Our objectives: fly through the trench, avoid TIE fighters, dodge the turbo lasers, and destroy the Death Star. Simple, really. The way the trench run worked is players would randomly be selected to enter the trench. When you fly down in there, you have to hit certain checkpoints one after the other whilst coming under heavy fire from the Imperials. If you weren't chosen, the pressure was on to protect the pilots in there at all costs. But then again, if you were chosen, the pressure was even more, as the intensity of flying desperately through this labyrinth of terror was unreal. It was literally like the fate of the rebellion was in your hands. I honestly remember this part the most, just trying to stay on target if you were flying through the trench. Or if your buddies were chosen to go in and you have to defend them, seeing them reach so close to the end, only to be shot down. Like, no! What am I going to tell his wife? If you manage to reach the exhaust port, fire the ion torpedoes and blow up the Death Star, you obviously won. And you get a big kiss from Leia and an even bigger kiss from Chewie. This DLC, and especially the Battle Station mode, created a sense of teamwork and accomplishment that I rarely have felt in gaming since. It combined space combat, rewarding objective gameplay, hero ships, infantry skirmishes, and most importantly, cinematic storytelling. It was one of the most memorable Star Wars experiences ever. The only criticism of it is the fact that Battlefront 2015's DLC were all paid and separate from the main game. That meant that they essentially split the player base, and that resulted in a rather quick demise in players. Not adding the DLC to the main rotation just meant that people stopped playing it. But when that happened, the DLCs died, and shortly after, the main game died too. But what do you think? Do you remember this DLC? Do you remember Battlefront 2015? Any good memories on it? What about the rest of the DLCs? What do we have? Cloud City, Scarif was a good one. That was pretty cool. And then Tatooine, was it? It was all so long ago now that it's just so crazy. Time flies, eh? But let me know down below all your memories, all your opinions on this DLC and Battlefront 2015 in general. It was quite a divisive remake. But apart from that, if you enjoyed the video, please like, hype, and comment. These help me out an unbelievable amount. You'll be doing me an absolute service if you did those. And consider subscribing. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.
Always get my mind.